Into Ruins by Eric B is a roguelike for Pico 8. Let's give it a look. Welcome to Pico Playtime, the video series where I play through some cool Pico 8 games to show to you lovely people. Today's game is called Into Ruins and it's by the developer called Eric B. Oh, this is a good one. Let's get right into it. So, this is a hex-based roguelike. You don't see many hex-based games in Pico 8, I imagine because they're an absolute nightmare to code. But anyway, Eric B is the man who has done that, so we don't have to. Anyway, this is a very traditional roguelike. Not a roguelite, this is a roguelike most certainly. Apparently heavily inspired by Brogue, which isn't a rogue I've played, but I think I have a vague idea of the gimmick in the game. Anyway, I'll hopefully be able to show you how Into Ruins works. Now, I will be posting a link in the description to the BBS forum page for this game because Eric has gone into a lot of detail about how this game was made, and there's a lot of information and kind of descriptions of how the level generation works and just how the game is set up, and it is a very well made game. So if you're interested in making a hex-based game like this or a roguelike in Pico 8, I would definitely give that post a look. Anyway, let's get into the game then, because this is such a good game. So, lovely title screen. I love a good title screen. And yeah, we are this little man with a little torch, and we are exploring some ruins, some dungeon cave-based ruins. Yes, it's a roguelike. This is what happens. We press X to start, and we have a little intro to the game. The cave opening calls to you. Could this be the resting place of the fabled Wings of Yendor? There's no turning back. So here's the kind of one of the first cool little gimmicks in this game. We don't climb down stairs. No, we jump down. Have you ever wondered why in roguelikes you can't just go back up the stairs most of the time? Well, this game solves that problem by making you just fall down. So we move around on a hex-based grid. We use left and right arrows to kind of aim ourselves, and then we've got up to move forwards. If we press down, it kind of does a 180, so we can back out very quickly. So here we are on the first level, and we find orbs in this game. Now, if I press the what's that? The circle button. I'm using the PlayStation controller, and I have this problem every week. No, the Z key. No, the X key. There we go. Just press one of the buttons. There's only two. It's not that confusing. Just press one of the buttons, the X key, and it will bring up the inventory. And this is such a well-made inventory. My latest Pico 8 game that I'm working on uses the inventory, and I gave up trying to get it to work the way I wanted it to work. Inventory is a lot harder than they look, I found. Anyway, this works really well. So we've got a torch, and look, there's even item descriptions of the items. You do not often see this in Pico 8 games. Pico 8 doesn't lend itself well to having lots of text in a game, and we've got an item description for a torch. Like every item in this game has a little description like this, and it shows you the stats and things, so you can actually make an informed choice, you know, like in a roguelike. Traditional roguelikes are all about pushing numbers around and increasing your numbers so that you can defeat stronger, more powerful numbers and get bigger numbers in return. There's lots of numbers in these games. We need to be able to see them, and we can in this. So what does a torch do? Stowing it douses the flame. It can't be relit, so we're not going to be doing that. Accuracy +1, damage 3, throw range. And we have options to extinguish or throw. I don't want to do either of them, so let's hopefully press the right button. There we go, cancel out of that. Now we have an orb. We don't know what it does yet. This is where I think the inspiration for Brogue comes from. I think the deal in Brogue is that you get lots of enchantment scrolls, I think, which have kind of randomized abilities which you need to use on your items. There's a kind of similar thing in this. Traditional roguelikes often have these kind of unknown items that do unknown things until you find out what they do. So let's use this red orb and find out what it does. It's an orb of gravity. I think that means that when we leave a level, we don't take a HP hit. I think. Maybe. I don't think it lets us fly. So, oh, that was how fortunate. This moves on to my next area of concern. Combat. We've encountered, I believe that is a rat. The sound effect makes it sound like a rat, and it kind of looks like a rat. Very low kind of pixel size characters in this game. I imagine to fit in with the kind of the hex-based nature, but I can still tell what it is, which is good for something that's like an arrangement of about 8 pixels. Good job there. Yeah, the graphics in this game are really nice. It's so evocative. Lovely. You can kind of, I mean, that if you're wondering as well why my screen's looking a bit interesting, I'm once again using shader glass by Mousimus, which is a CRT filter thing, which can kind of make Pico 8 games look kind of really cool and retro. This is, you can imagine having your little Pico 8 console in the late 80s playing on an old TV with this technology. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, with the CRT shader, it really does kind of like highlight the nice dithering effects which have been made in this game to create our cave-like environment. Anyway, enough of my waffling on about some graphics, which are good. Let's attack a rat. There we go. That was remarkably straightforward. So you can see down at the bottom there, I've got HP, I've got my torch light remaining, and we also have slow fall ability. Now let's see if I can get to this, which is, I'm not entirely sure what this is. I don't want to jump down, so let's not jump. It looks like some kind of ice crystal kind of effect. I'm not entirely sure what that is yet. I haven't worked that out. Because we have a torch, we've got a nice long kind of view distance. However, it does alert enemies. This game has stealth mechanics incorporated into it. I should probably point out as well that this is a multi-cart game. Now, the normal way, or the way that multi-cart games tend to work on Pico 8 is that if, for example, I think one of the recent ones I looked at was one of the racing game, Mott's Grand Prix, where I think every track in the game was like its own cart. So you had kind of 5 or 6 kind of copies of the game with like a different track in each cart. I think that's how it works. I could be talking complete rubbish. This game does it in 2 carts. So most of the data, and you can find this all out, by the way, in the description on the BBS page. Go and check it out. But basically, most of the kind of game data is stored in some massive string in the first cart, which is also the title screen. We're in the second cart now, which is the actual game. So quite a clever way of getting some extra data into the game, because there's a lot of depth in this game. Having had a go at trying to make a traditional roguelike myself, I know what an absolute nightmare it can be, especially the level generation, which, again, the post on the BBS goes into a lot of depth about how that works. This is such a smooth roguelike. I mean, we've got very simple animation, but it's completely effective, isn't it? I don't want to jump down just yet. I want to see if I've got everything else on this level. I haven't really talked enough about the gameplay in this game. It's really good. If you can get over the kind of technical side of the game, which is also very good, yeah, the gameplay. Oh, that's why we want to play it on Pico Playtime, you see. I want to show you some good games on Pico 8. I don't want to jump down yet. Let's explore the rest of this area. We haven't had a flame effect yet, but you can see that kind of, is it kind of cave grass or something? That will catch fire, and that can get quite dangerous if we get a fireball ability, which hopefully we will get on the next level. I think we've got everything on this level now. Let's jump down. What a nice little animation. And we're down. We're on depth 2, and we have slow fall. I think you must take a HP hit when you go between levels, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. So we have like a standing lantern thing here. You can knock it over and start a little fire. As you can see, the fire spreads. If you get set on fire, that's kind of dangerous. So we need to be careful around that. That's alerted 2, are these dogs? Are they foxes? Some kind of creature. Yeah, our antics with the fire have alerted pretty much every enemy on the level, it seems. So I'm in a lot of trouble now. Oh dear. Oh dear. Am I dead? Wow, that was pathetic. Depth 2. Let's try again. So you can see we're back on title screen now, and then when we load the game, it'll go into the second car. Yes, this is a roguelike. You're gonna die. It's how it works. Anyway, ooh, we have a dungeon on this level. Let's can we get inside the dungeon? We'll have to go round maybe. Anyway, we've got some rats to deal with. These aren't too bad, are they? The AI seems pretty competent. Oh, we found some more items. We didn't find many items in that last game. So I've got a yellow orb, a red orb, and a pink orb. Let's find out what some of these do. So we have to throw caution to the wind and just see what these things do. Now, having played quite a bit of NetHack, it's dangerous to just start drinking potions that you have no idea what they do. I don't think there's any negative effects in this game. I could be wrong though. Let's find out. The Orb of Gravity again. Okay, let's see what the pink orb does. Orb of Life. That'd have been really handy in the last game, wouldn't it? Yellow orb, what does that do? Empower an item. Aha! This is like the enchanting in Brogue. I had a very quick look at the Brogue web homepage. I look at the website for Brogue, and yes, enchanting is a big deal in that. Let's empower our torch and just see what happens. Accuracy goes up, damage goes up. Wow! So our stick becomes a much more ferocious stick. Let's batter some rats with it. I'm sure that'll be fine. We've got another Orb of Gravity. I really need to know what they do. Look, they're fleeing before my mighty torch. Possibly. Yeah, these rats don't seem to want to fight today, do they? Anyway. Oh, we're absolute machine. Fantastic. The hole opens up below you. Jump down. Don't jump yet. So we've got a hole down there. There's a cage there, but I don't think we can get to it. The graphics are so nice in this game. For such a low pixel game, even back for Pico 8 standards, this is quite low pixely. It looks so good. There's like the little animation. Look at the animation on the little character when you turn around. Just little touches like that. I haven't had a look in the sprite sheet, but again, I think because of the multi-cart nature of the game, I think there is some clever shenanigans going on in the sprite sheet, especially with the animation. Give that a look if you're interested in that sort of thing. Let's jump down. I'm already doing fantastically well on depth 2. Let's see if I can do better than in the last game with my upgraded torch. The barrel, nothing in there sadly. Let's explore. The steering does take a little bit of getting used to on the hex grid, but I think it works really nicely. It does get kind of confusing how you have to kind of zigzag through. You kind of have to zigzag along straight edges of dungeon walls, but I mean that's just a thing in hex games. It does make the game. It does give the game a nice, unique feel. And yeah, major props to Eric for managing to get hex-based roguelike combat to work. I can't imagine that would have been easy. That looks like a hole for us to jump down. Let's not jump just yet and explore the rest of this level. Have you noticed how little I'm complaining about the control system? It's so good. We've got little window pop-ups to tell us if we want to do something. The controls are so clear. Games like this, especially on Pico 8, where we've got very limited amount of kind of control space. We've only got 2 buttons, 2 action buttons, and then the 4 direction buttons. It doesn't leave a lot of space for complicated control schemes, so you have to come up with something simple and effective like this. This is a well done control scheme in a game for a Pico 8 game. Check it out. Anyway, I think we've got everything on this level. Let's jump down. I'm doing radically better than the first game. We're on depth 3. We've got a healing orb. We're just set, aren't we? Nothing can stop us. Not even an army of aggressive dogs. We are unstoppable. Yes, I am completely filled with confidence. Nothing is going to go wrong. It's a roguelike, of course something's going to go wrong. Now, I don't want to knock over that lantern because it does let us see further. Have you noticed as well that when I'm moving around, you can see little alerts from enemies elsewhere in the level. What a nice touch. Like I say, the stealth mechanics in this game, the attention to detail, I'm just so impressed. Even like the power effect on the lighting, so that as you get further away from things, we've got kind of palette swapping effects going on to simulate the darkness. I think our torch has run out now, so you can see we're kind of feeling around in the dark now. We can't see quite as far. It does make exploration more difficult. I don't know if you can find a new torch. You can see how much progress I've made in this game. I'm not even sure if there's extra torches in yet. But you need to play this game. It's such a good roguelike. I think this is probably one of the best roguelikes I've played on Pico. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. You need to check this game out. Superb work by Eric B, also known as Sparse Game Dev on Twitter. Check out their itch page. Loads of cool games as well. Shall we jump down? Let's not jump yet, because I've got that orb. I don't know what this orb does, the orange orb. We've got cyan orb as well. Oh, what could this do? It identifies an item. Nice. Let's find out what the orange orb does. Orb of light emits a pale light. Throw for a bright flash. Nice. So, is that like a passive effect then? Is that like a kind of passive torch maybe? Oh no, it's like I see. It's like a kind of spell with a duration. That's fine. Okay, let's jump down. I'm going to pay attention to the HP now, because I have a feeling that you lose HP when you go down. Oops. Oops. Let's do that again. Yes, you can see there your HP drops at the start of each level. That's mean. This is a roguelike though. Let's use our Orb of Life. Heals you fully. +3 to max HP. Throw range 6. Nice. The items in this are really cool. Having the kind of unknown effects of the items, it's classic roguelike gameplay. There's a lot of games nowadays that call themselves roguelikes, which they're so far removed from what the genre originally kind of meant that it's become its own thing, hasn't it? The kind of roguelite genre. That's fine. This though is a proper roguelike. We have got randomized items. We have got a brutal difficulty curve. And we've got dungeon crawling. Let's back out of here. Can I get out of here? Yes, I can. Let's see if we can get these guys to come into this choke point here. Now, that's a button I haven't used up until this point. We can skip a turn. Such a useful thing to be able to do in a game like this, because now we can funnel enemies down into our little killing zone here. Again, classic roguelike gameplay. Have you ever played the first Diablo game? That was like a roguelike, wasn't it? Before it became Diablo. Before it became Diablo 2. That's reminding me of this. I like being reminded of Diablo 1. One of my favourite games. Anyway, we're doing really well here. Oh, that dog's had enough. He's off. There we go. We've got the dog or the fox. Kind of wish that I knew what these enemies were that I was fighting. Looks kind of doggy, didn't it? Oh, we've got another orb of light. That would be useful. I'm not sure how many items there are in the game. I imagine as we progress further, we could maybe unlock some new ones. Because we do know what most of these items do now. Guess we'll find out what way. I am only on level 3. How many levels are there? I have a feeling there's 16. Did I remember that correctly? Just reading the description. I believe there's 16 levels. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. Reach depth 16 and retrieve the wings of Yendor. Okay. Let's see how far I can get on this one then before I have to restart. If you want to play this game, don't forget you can play it on Splore. You can play it on Itch. I'll put all the links that I usually do in the description. I also put a link to Sparse Game Dev, Eric B's website, so you can check out all their other projects. Let's jump down. Let's carry on. Depth 5. We are nearly dead. This is not good. Oh, we need healing. Uh-oh. Let's run away. Okay. The goblin has seen us and are following us. Dead. Oh well. Depth 5. Did better than last time. Yeah. Really cool game. Let's go back to the title screen. Such a nice title screen. So, there you go. If you like Into Ruins, if you think this looks good, then go and check it out on all the links that I've already mentioned. Go and give Eric B, Sparse Game Dev, a follow over on Twitter for more indie game goodness. And just check out the other games that he's made on itch. I'm sure there's some good ones there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm going to see if I can get onto depth 6 without dying immediately. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you again very soon.